for this assignment, we were instructed to kind of talk about a lot of the main elements that go into drugs and crime. One of our standards was we had to choose a drug that we've discussed over the course of this class. And I chose methamphetamine. I think methamphetamine is also known as meth, is a very, very big deal in especially the United States. There's thousands of overdoses every single year. It's extremely addictive, and it's something that turns a lot of people's lives upside down. So I think it's important to talk about, but also not just that, drugs in general. And for this assignment, especially the prevention that goes into that. So to start, when we're talking about primary, secondary, and tertiary prevention, to start with primary is essentially the goal to stop drug and criminal behavior before they begin. So it's before you even touch drugs, before you even think about it, all of that. According to the National Library of Medicine from September 6, 2025, primary prevention is approaches to aim to prevent disease conditions from developing. So before you get addicted, before you have the problem in that area or addiction in general, the primary prevention is to stop it before it happens. Moving on to secondary prevention, this is more dealing with high-risk individuals and trying to prevent it during that time. So this is more an intervention early on to prevent it escalating into something that it shouldn't be, or to people or individuals that have that higher risk. According to AHA journals from April 2019, secondary prevention medications are often not prescribed to frail older adults following acute infractions, potentially because of the absence of data to support use, perceived lack of benefit, and concern over possible harms. So these are kind of drugs that are not methamphetamine. It's used in those individuals, the way that AHA journals describes it as it does help these people in a lot of ways, but they can't do that to people that are high risk, because they do want to prevent that addiction. Moving on to tertiary prevention, the goal is to reduce harm, prevent relapses. It's for people that have already experienced this issue. It's to prevent reoffending after drug use or criminal behavior has already occurred. So it's people that have maybe been addicted to methamphetamine, but they really do want to get off that drug. They're seeking help, but it is a struggle. Addiction is a disease, so getting off of it is really challenging. So these methods of prevention are used to help people that have already dealt with the struggles in general, and how to kind of alter that prevention program to help their benefits and needs, because if they do already have the addiction, it's going to be much harder to get off of it than if you've never touched it, like primary. According to the University of West Florida, published in 2023, tertiary prevention strategies aim to lessen the negative impact of health conditions and prevent complications. Treatment through medications, surgical procedures, complementary modalities, therapies, and rehabilitation approaches are tertiary preventive activities. So these are things that just help them through withdrawals, help them through addiction processes, all of that. It's people that have already experienced it. So there are risk and productive factors that go into all three of these things. Some of the risk factors include impulsivity or poor self-control. So you're going to see this a lot with the tertiary prevention tactics. There's a lot of risk and there's a lot of self-control that goes into that. Not just methamphetamine, but really any drug that someone is addicted to, they have the possibility of dealing with these. There's also parental substance use that can go into this. There's school failure, truancy, weak school bonding, And it can also affect crime in neighborhoods. According to Better Health Channel, published in 2022, long-term health impacts from methamphetamine can cause liver, kidney health problems, or even cancer. So it can really do a lot. And according to the National Council on Alcoholism and Drug Department, extensive research shows a strong and multi-faced relationship between drug use and high crime rates. So drugs and crime really do go hand in hand. Some of the benefits are people breaking this cycle, people coming out on top from having this super horrible addiction that can be extremely challenging for someone to overcome. It can, primary and secondary version too, it can help them from deterring from this. Even if they grew up in it, maybe they're coming out of it in secondary and they're not even touching it, even though they've been around it. And in primary, it's people coming to schools and lecturing about it and talking about the risks of drug crime. And they don't want to touch it after that. Methamphetamine is a terrible drug. It is very scary. It can cause so much harm and death, and it's something that should definitely be avoided. And I think these strategies are definitely preventative and helpful for a lot of individuals dealing with this problem.